So, hi Lara.
Hello.
So if you just want to tell XXO how you got started, where did it all begin for Lara Jensen?
I did my foundation year in Hull, which is in the north east of England, in East Yorkshire, and from then I went on to do a fine art degree. It's a 4-year degree at the University of Leeds. So it's all conceptual kind of artwork, and it's a lot of thinking and theories and things like that, and you end up thinking more about your working practice than making things, and which is great, but I love making. And so by the time I'd finished my fine arts degree, I really wanted to start making again and start that practice of making things. And then was very fortunate that one day I went into the London College of Fashion to meet one of my friends who was studying there at the time, because I had some sketchbooks with me. And I was very fortunate that one of the tutors from the London College of Fashion saw my sketchbooks and invited me for an interview, and about 2 weeks later I had a full scholarship from Harold Tillman and could go and study a Masters at London College of Fashion. I found a great deal of focus, and the Masters was in costume design for performance. And while I'd been working in film, I'd done some wardrobe work, and I'd always loved work by designers and costume designers like Aiko Ishioka, whose work basically goes across fashion and across costume design. It was a new course at the London College of Fashion, and it was about garments existing in a time-based way, and creating moments that would not exist without the garment. So
it's still a very artistic course for a costume design course then as well?
Yeah, it was like fine art costume, and you would look at people from the Queen, Victor and Rolf, Saint Cheyenne. Really thought that the London College of Fashion would be a really great place to go.
So do you find like your experience working within film, do you find that inspires some of your work, or perhaps like the things that you learned through?
I think the big thing about having done that, because I've worked with prop makers, and the big thing from having a fine art degree is that you have a mixed media approach to making work. Having worked in film and worked in prop houses and making stuff for art departments for films like Atonement and bits and pieces like that, you learn new ways to manipulate materials, and unconventional materials for headpieces.
It keeps it out of the box though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think if I hadn't have done that, I would never make the work that I do now. And as well, it's always thinking about the piece not as a static thing. It's about something that is temporal, and it moves, and it has an impact in the space. And whenever I think about making a piece, I always think about the noise that comes with it, or the sound that comes with it. But I just saw it as like gone as moving art, and that's how I interpreted it.
So you discuss like art and also like other designers and stuff like that. So is it other artists' work that inspires you, or what do you find? Where do you take inspiration from for past work and future work?
Well, I've, again, because of my passion for fine art, and I've always been very, very big into like the old masters paintings. I like Vermeer, Caravaggio, Goya. Generally, I like work which is maybe slightly darker. There's something that kind of has an edge on it. They would think about the atmosphere. It's atmospheric. And I used to see that in work like Caravaggio, his kind of use of light and chiaroscuro, and then like Goya, like the look in the eyes and this darkness which you see.
It's like a dark romance to your work, I think, especially through the use of like things like the flowers and the birds and stuff like that. But it's almost like poetic in the way that you use materials. It's especially the materials you've used this collection are different, I would say, from what I've seen your work.
I think it's just maybe it's something I've wanted to do for a very long period of time, make something around this subject matter of Vanitas, because I have such a passion for that period of art, painting, that all the materials in the collection have a concept behind them. There's a very specific reason why they were chosen, not just for their aesthetics, it's because all of them have ideas and have been intellectualised. So take the leather flowers, for example, it's like a painted, it's kind of bright painted red, which is quite fetishistic, and in contrast with it being the flowers, and that's something that I wanted to kind of bring in this uneasy beauty, and yet it photographs as well very well, but it looks like wet petals, and it's the jade birds were chosen because of the folklore around them, which went along with the theme of Vanitas. Now in Vanitas paintings used to always have birds and animals to show, maybe to have a dead animal or a dead bird, and they'd have a living bird to show that the passing of life. But with the jays, they come from folklore, that they were a bird which was associated with judgment. So there's in old folklore, they used to fly down. Apparently they would disappear on a Friday to ease the fires of hell with a grain of salt and a drop of water to quench the thirst of those who are being judged. It's about having the work that looks beautiful, it does something dramatic as on its own, that it could be taken out of context and it would still work, but within the context of the collection as a whole, like the paintings, they each have a meaning, they tell a story, and there's something that's deeper than just the aesthetics.
It helps to understand, especially coming from the artist yourself, explaining each piece has each story to tell, so like the way that you've done your work for your lookbook, even the way that it's been set up to look portraiture, the way that it's almost as if the model's dying, and the life that's been taken from her from your pieces, do you know what I mean? Which is not a good way to describe a model as dying,
no,
is it?
but it isn't, but the whole thing about the concept of Vanitas is the fact that you realise that the most beautiful things, which is beauty, which is in the model, is fleeting, and you keep it, it's precious. It's something which is beautiful in itself. It could be interpreted as being quite a dark collection, but actually it's about celebrating beauty. And so the exposing of the teeth on the model with the mouthpieces is it's a reminder of what's underneath, but it's in its sense it's a celebration of the beauty of the wearer.
Okay, so we've just discussed where your inspirations and things come from, but is there people that inspire your work, like the people who have worn your work? I know that Gaga is a big fan of your work. Do these kind of people influence the change in each collection as you progress bigger as an artist?
I'd say that I've never made a piece which hasn't been commissioned deliberately for, say, Lady Gaga in mind, or a celebrity to wear them. But I do find that people like Gaga are a great confidence boost to a lot of designers, that you can be more creative with your work. And I think that she really opened up the performance space, or the public space of wearing garments which are not either readily accepted or available to the general public. And I think if you think that there's any way that somebody might accept that or encourage it within society, it's always it's a very cheering thought that you can be slightly more courageous with your ideas and not necessarily be knocked back because it's not commercial. So I find people like Lady Gaga, or you have Grace Jones, or people like Bjork, they are very inspirational to designers because they become muses and canvases.
So is there anyone else that you would like to see wearing your work? Would you like to see people walking in the street wearing your work, or is there any iconic artist, celebrity, queen?
I would really like to make pieces for, I wouldn't say the Queen, because she's...
The cannabis leaf crown, that could be the next.
I would say, well, Grace Jones is a wonderful performer, and I haven't had the privilege yet to work with her. And also...
Please, if you're hearing this.
Don't feel any pressure. I'd say Bjork as well. She's pretty amazing. Yeah, I think that performers-wise, that they would be people that I would like to wear my work. But I think to have anybody who wants to wear something that you've made is like amazing. So it's there are people I would like to work with. I'd be far happier, like I think most people would be, to collaborate and see what two minds can make, rather than just to appreciate what I've done.
So speaking of collaboration, would you ever collaborate with like a chain brand or anything like that, like Topshop or Selfridges or something like that, were to approach you and say, we want 12,000 of these? Is there anything, or like if they were to try and collaborate to work with you, like a Lara Jensen collaboration, would that be something that you like your pieces being not commercialised but brought to the public rather than an individual piece?
Well, it would. I think it would be interesting, because as a process to learn from as well. Because I make pieces which are generally like one-offs, to then translate that into something which is more marketable or accessible by the general public. Yeah, I think I wouldn't say no, but it's. I think it would be a totally new way of working with me, and probably quite interesting as well at the same time.
So we don't see a Topshop Lara Jensen collaboration on the horizon?
Not at the moment, but I mean, I would never say no to Topshop.
Topshop is a bad example,
but they have they're a wonderful example of bringing fashion to the general public, which is, if I could in any way collaborate with them, that I could get an idea or a new idea of wearing something all over, it would be an achievement to be able to put it out to so many people. Because of the bespoke manner that a lot of the pieces are made, they are beyond the price bracket of other people, and I think that fashion should be accessible.
What's next? Where's the bigger thing? I know what you just said about it'd be nice to go to like a Topshop thing, but like, would you like to see your brand as Lara Jensen go from here, from this collection?
I have so many ideas about what I want to do, and I've already designed everything for next season. I've designed about 5 collections for next season, and so
prepared.
Yeah, well, I kind of always drawing things, and I've got like this bank of work that I want to do. I really feel that with this collection, I've been waiting for a really long time and holding off doing my own show. I had my heart set on like the photography and working with Philip Meach, who produces these beautiful images. So I really would like to do a show, whether or not it be an installation.
I don't see a normal runway show in the horizon for Lara Jensen, especially with the
I just think
conceptual
that
ideas.
There's so much that's come out. The showmanship that used to be seen in catwalks 10 years ago, I feel is a little bit dead.
Fashion is dead at the moment. That's why when you make, not to say that your work's making fun of it, but poke fun at the death of it and make people realise that, yeah, do you know what, I'm going to put maggots on your face because McQueen and everything's gone, those days of shows and everything are going. So that's why if you're going to do a show, make it a show, and that's obviously.
And it's about the ideas. I mean, like McQueen, you were talking about people that are inspirational to me. Like he's on McQueen, Lee McQueen. Didn't know him personally, but like his work was beyond that of just the garment on the body. I think if I was going to do something, and that's why I did hold off on this scene, because I had so many plans for the installation of this work, and the space which was available to me didn't have the ability to install what I wanted to install, like, and work in the way that it needed to be shown. So I decided that.
Fancy spilling any of those little ideas that you had? Give us the viewers an idea.
Well, I don't know. It was just like it was to do with various projection, and if I ever get a chance to do it, I'm not going to say it, because if I could ever stage in the future like an exhibition of this collection, I will do that, and I would rather preserve it than misrepresent it. I do not want to show the work within this white gallery space that seems to be, which is like everything. Well, that's just fashion. You just have to show them the garment, and people interpret it how they want. And I don't think it's got to be like that. You've got to make people love the work, and if you're presenting a brand, you've got to make them love the brand that you're giving in. I would like to encourage people to it's like most people investment buy, but it's to see things as artifacts and to see it as something more than just sitting within that spring summer 13, and it's something that you can come back to.
So you'd like people to keep your work forever and still feel the joy that they had when they first bought it in spring summer 13, and still feel that in spring summer 2 million ages and ages away.
Something like